All right, Shalom. First, I can start by saying our praise to Yahweh by Shem Shai by Shem Kakadash. Double honors to elders and apostles that were well. Slacking and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. The title of this video is Why Hiwa, 10-year-old, was emaciated, suffered prolonged abuse before dying. And the word emaciated means something along the lines of starved, damn near. Let me see. Emaciated, abnormally thin or weak, right? So she wasn't eating, especially because of illness or a lack of food, right? So they were starving her, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip and add some precepts because a lot of this is going on right now, and yeah, a lot of this is going on right now, and it's more to come. A lot of these kids, a lot of these parents gonna be killing their kids in the near future, and not only killing them, they'll be killing them and eating them, raping them, etc. Man, so get ready for that.
3 weeks after a 10-year-old girl was found dead in her Wahiwa home, her legal guardians are arrested in connection with her death.
We're working for Hawaii. The KHONT News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Aloha Friday, the 9th of February. The legal guardians of a 10-year-old girl found dead in her Wahiwa home last month have been arrested and charged with murder. And KHON2 had the only cameras there as police took 3 people into custody this morning after the investigation into the girl's death ruled it a homicide. Jen Boniza was there for the arrest, and we warn you, the police disclosed several disturbing details about this case.
67-year-old Deborah Jerome, 40-year-old Thomas Bloss, and 35-year-old Brandy Bloss arrested and charged for the murder of Gianna Bradley. According to police, the Blosses are the legal guardians of Gianna. The case was initially classified as an unattended death after first responders were called to the home January 18th.
Homicide detectives were called to the home after responding officers noted that Gianna had multiple facial injuries, including multiple scratch-like marks around her ears, eyes, forehead, cheeks, and lips. Her eyelids appeared slightly bruised. There were road rash-type injuries to her chin. Part of her nose bridge was missing.
According to Tamus, Jerome told officers that Gianna was prescribed medicine for multiple mental disorders and injured herself through daily tantrums. But after an intensive 3-week investigation, the case was reclassified as murder.
As part of the HPD investigation, in concurrence with the medical examiner's office, a board-certified child abuse pediatrician was consulted. The pediatrician noted that Gianna's physical appearance at the time of death was consistent with medical neglect, physical neglect, and chronic physical abuse, as well as features seen in fatal starvation.
The investigation also retrieved data from the suspect's cell phones with numerous photos and videos showing the abuse.
The child's arms are taped to her torso, and there is duct tape wrapped around her eyes, forehead, and over the top of her head.
Results from the medical examiner lists Gianna's cause of death as prolonged child abuse and neglect, including starvation, blunt force injuries due to multiple assaults, prolonged physical restraint, and immobilization, pneumonia, and medical neglect. The 3 suspects were taken into custody here in Wahiwa around 6 a.m. this morning. Now, investigators tell me that this case is starkly similar to that of 6-year-old Isabella Kalua, who was allegedly killed by her adoptive parents in August of 2021, but whose body is yet to be found. The 10-year-old victim in this case, police say, was allegedly bound with duct tape and starved, similar to that of Kalua, but the difference in this case is that investigators have the victim's body, which they say will help with the investigation. Tamis says there were 5 other children living in the home. 4 biological children of Brandy and Thomas Bloss were reported healthy with no signs of physical abuse. The 5th child was an adopted 4-year-old boy who also showed signs of abuse, starvation, and neglect. All 5 children have been removed from the home. From Wahiawa, Jen Bonisa, KH12 News, working for Hawaii.
Stay fresh, stay refined. Grab this trendy sweatshirt for only $2.19. It's
All right, so I'm gonna start with this precept. It's Proverbs chapter 19, verse 18. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. Right, so it's cool to chasten your kid, man, whoop him or whatnot. Keep him in order. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 15, it says, foolishness is bound in the heart or the mind of a child, right? But the rod of correction shall drive it far from him, right? So there's nothing wrong with whooping your kids because they always acting foolish and wilding out, you know. Esau will have you believe that there's something wrong with whooping your children and making sure your children are disciplined. This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die, right? Him or her. So basically, just, it's okay to whoop your children, man, but do it, beat your children to death, starve them out, especially if they're not yours. And in their case, and a lot of this stuff be done because of rituals and stuff like that, or the people just fucking demonic. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Right? So the children are supposed to obey their parents. This is Numbers chapter 14, verse 18. It says, the Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation. Right? So whatever you did in your past life, the Lord repays you in this life. That's and that's in this case, that's what's going on with this little girl, you know. Same thing with her foster parents. You could tell they was extremely demonic because they was beating up foster kids, man. Um, this is Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Right? It's just that the Lord bring you back to get your judgment on this side, in reincarnation. In your past life you were doing evil. Then when you're born in this life, the Lord judges you, man. You know, that's why this little girl died. Hmm. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, which is the angel, through the midst of Jerusalem, which is the black/Native Americans, the Israelites, and set a mark. That mark is tawab, for the mark of exemption from judgment, which means that, you have an elect of Israel that's going to that's not going to die by way of thermonuclear missiles, man. The Lord going to be delivering them in the time of trouble. And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all abominations, which means what you see with me doing, putting up these videos about the evil that's going on in this place, that be done in the midst thereof. The Lord is turning this place into an evil place and having people's love wax cold towards each other, man. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, meaning to kill. Let not your eyes spare have, and neither have ye pity. So the Lord told the other angel to go and kill people, slay utterly old and young. So she's a young woman. She perished because of the Lord sent the angels to kill her, man. But the women that got locked up, them three that got locked up, they gonna die also. Whether they die in jail when the people in jail find out, or the Lord have them here when the nuclear missiles hit, or starvation, or pestilence, man. They gonna get judged for doing that. Ezekiel 9:6, slay utterly old and young, both maids is young women, and little children. She was a little child, and women, says women again, because women really evil, man. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, which was were the elders. This second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, the Israelites. We've been telling people through the spirit of prophecy, how about Shema Shai, that all this evil was coming, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. And we got it right out of the Bible, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, right? So people really hate what we're doing through the spirit of prophecy. How about Shema Shai, man? And they be wanting to do something to us, which is their imagination. Let not the incredulity, which means the unbelief of them, trouble thee. So just because they believe don't mean it should bother your spirit, man. That speak against thee, and you got people that speak against us, man. From making videos to just our family members talking against us, and old friends or just people in general. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. They gonna die. Now that well, you never know. They probably can't get the word in prison. But a lot of these people being locked up, not going to be able to get the word in jail, man. It's too late for them. Behold, said the Lord, I bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. That's what you see going on, all this death going on. Famine is a lack of food. The Lord might have it to where them women starve to death in jail or be killed by way of a weapon, man. And the destruction is also going to be the nuclear missiles. If they're alive when the nuclear missiles get hit, they're going to be hit by them thermonuclear missiles. For wickedness, what you see happen in this situation, have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. A lot of this stuff be ritual based, them sacrificing kids and things of that nature, man. I'm finna jump to verse 14. Woe, meaning destruction, to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, which is that nuclear missile. The nuclear missile is going to hit America. It's going to destroy America. It's going to hit Israel. It's going to destroy Israel, but Israel going to be built back up. America is not going to be built up nor inhabited by any humans, just animals, certain creatures and stuff, owls and stuff and such. Then there's other places that the Lord going to destroy by thermonuclear missiles too, though. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So, this is nothing compared to what's coming. people gonna stand up to and start killing each other with whatever killing instrument they may have, and they're not gonna spare their children. They might rape or eat their children, or they just might kill their kids. So this is get used to this. This is normal now. For there shall be sedition among men. People, sedition mean people are going to rise up against their governments. All these laws and stuff that the government's passing, which is destroying the society. People going to rise up and kill their government officials. It says, "For there should be there should be sedition among men and invading one another." And a lot of this is going on in the Middle East right now, in countries across seas. They should not regard their kings nor princes, kings, presidents, princes, government officials. And the course of their action shall stand in their power, so they're gonna be able to do whatever they want to do. Pretty soon there won't be no solving these investigations of kids dying or people missing and things of that nature. It's gonna be how can I say it? Basically everybody against everybody to a certain degree, and there ain't gonna be none of that solved crimes, nothing. All that's gonna be over with. People's bodies gonna be laying all in the streets and stuff. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? Because a militia might hold it down, a disease might ran through it, and people know not to go in the city no more. A police force or a government troops force. That's why you see the troops in um, New York, and they had them in Chicago at one point in time. I don't know if they're still there, but that's just getting everybody ready for what's to come, man. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, just like how they ain't got no pity upon their kid, but shall destroy their house with the sword and spoil their goods, meaning take what you got, your resources, food, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. There's going to be great tribulation going on in them days, man. So you're going to be expecting that. The only people that's going to make it through is the elect of Israel, man. So you got to prepare your mind, your body for what's to come, Basically be all the way in the spirit, man, because the Lord going to deliver his elect, do the work, you know. But with that being said, call Allah Yahweh Shema Shai, double honors to the elders and the apostles that we will, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.